Good morning, everyone. Today is November the 7th, 2022. My name is Anne-Marie Band. This is the MoneyBall morning report for the Benzinga Pro platform. And what we are looking at is a very interesting week ahead. We've got elections on Tuesday that are probably going to give us a little bit of a bullish bounce because we have resolution and markets do not like uncertainty. That's the first thing. We have a troubling issue of liquidity, but we'll address that a little bit later. What we are seeing every day, we see new weekly highs being better and higher than new weekly lows. So there's an undercurrent of motion to the upside. What we can look at from the price action event is that last week, this was our range. We took out the week prior, erased almost all of it. That's key. And now what we're doing is moving back up and trying to recover. Notice the moving average ribbon over here, how it's all squashed up, everything's flat. That tells us we're going to have some sideways motion. My thought is any deep pullbacks are going to continue to be buy zones. I said this several days past. I still mean it, but notice how deep the pullbacks were. And so what you have to pay attention to is, wait a second, am I holding the low or the close of the prior week? And so the close of the prior week is 376.35. We're here at 337 and some change. You want to put an alert on that 376, because if it loses it there, they're going to start a step down. But look at the difference and how much price action is not sitting in here. This is the liquidity thing that I'm talking about. It's very easy to move markets when there's not a lot of money floating around, and people are holding that float back for a number of reasons. One, there's a lot of uncertainty. Two, markets work in a very specific way where people with money will find ways to make money with the least risk. And now that happens to be in I-bonds, treasury bills, money markets, and all of those things. And what that actually does is suck money out of the system, and it puts it away in some place that it doesn't move. And so when that happens, that money getting pulled out will make liquidity dry up. And that's why these folks that are getting 0 days to expiration options are able to shift the market in such dramatic ways. So what we have to take a look at is what is most important to us, and that is the movement of price intraday, because we are intraday traders or traders trying to position for some good moves. Notice we are bounced up into this area around the 377 edge. And what that's going to tell us is, okay, how am I doing as I'm moving up in the motion? If we can hold this area, my thought is this is going to be a little bit of a resistance zone. And you can see they're trying to punch through the edge in that opening space, but they're not getting through. But the VWAP and the 5 and all of these tight moving averages are still sitting underneath here. And so it tells me, see this ledge? Watch for the ledge there. And if it loses this zone, you know you probably have a short into the VWAP if you like trading things a little bit tightly from that perspective. Now, here's the wonderful thing. Everything that I'm telling you about what's going on with SPY, you can replicate this on any chart in any market at any time. And if you use those basic mechanics of support to resistance, am I holding the low? Am I making a higher low? If I get in here, what's the lowest that my prior candles have come into before I see support? That's where my risk is going to be. Bob's your uncle when you're working there with price. It is a very natural place to go. It's my favorite place to go, and it's the simplest place to go. So as you're looking at your day today, think to yourself, hang on, am I holding the floor of support? What happened yesterday? Where was the close? And realize that active traders will try to break direction where they want it to go. So let's take a look at this 30-minute very quickly. You can see downward flow. I'm under the 5, I'm under the VWAP, but I've been making higher lows. So what's likely to happen? The first thing the traders are going to do is try and hold this 265. If you're thinking, hey, I want to trade in the direction of trend, you know your stop is up here at the 265.68. if you take the short, what needs to happen for you to be right? Well, it needs to go down here. If it doesn't, don't hang on to that short all the way up and through here, because if you get up and through here, what you've gotten through is all the people that said, no, that doesn't need to go. And if you go, all right, well, I'll just give it a couple more pennies, that's perfectly fine, but flow and direction will tell you what is happening. Pay attention to the simple things, and doing that, you'll get the hard things pretty easily. My thought is they're still trying to bounce it. And so the higher low tells me, you know, these guys are going to try and push this higher. If they push it higher and then they begin to fail, I'll know as soon as they start losing this edge that that's where I might be able to take my short. But it's a very messy patch, as you can see. All right, so there we have it. You can trade these things in either direction at any time. What you have to know is your risk, because remember, traders don't know what's going to happen. They position and then think to themselves, all right, if I'm wrong, this is where I have to get out. And that is what the amateur that doesn't trade for a living consistently, that's what they miss every single time. So good luck, and I'll see you tomorrow. Of course, if you're on the Benzinga Pro platform, I'll see you all day. Take care.